I don't get the hype. Okay, so let me explain a bit. A few years ago, Black Mirror was everywhere online. Even now, it's still a pretty big series. I think it's got 7 seasons total, and I've never watched it. At least not until today. I decided to sit down and just watch the first season. It's only 3 episodes, and they're not too long. The second episode's quite long, but other than that, I thought, okay, I had some free time, and people might enjoy seeing my opinion on it. And I think I'm going to piss a few people off because I didn't really enjoy it. I can admit that the series is very well made. That's one thing I can't fault. But a lot of it's just weird. And I think it relies on the shock value more. So instead of my normal ranking videos, I'm going to talk about each episode in the first season. And then I'm going to give them a rating out of 10. So, and then that will determine the ranking. If you want a quick ranking, it's actually matching the order of the episodes. The first episode's the worst of the season. The last episode, in my opinion, is the best. And let's actually get into it with the very first episode. Episode 1, the National Anthem. So, to summarize this episode, a princess that's a member of the British royal family has been kidnapped. The kidnapper doesn't want money, doesn't want any power or anything. All he wants is for the Prime Minister to, and in the words of the show, commit an indecent act with a pig on live television. Now, I'm glad that I don't have thousands of subscribers because no way this video would get monetized after that. But that's basically the premise of the show. Over time, because it has to be done by like 4 p.m. that day, and they try to fabricate footage of the act, which leads to a finger being sent to the Prime Minister, which everyone assumes is the princess's. It's actually not, but I'll get to that. Eventually, it comes to a point where he has no choice, he has to do it, and he does. To an audience of 1.3 billion people who eventually see it, it's pretty fucked up. It's a very dramatic episode, and I think it's a very interesting idea. It's still very weird. And by the end of it doesn't feel very special. It feels kind of boring. We eventually find out that the princess actually got released before the broadcast happened, and the kidnapper wasn't some terror group or radical. It was just an artist who wanted to make a statement. It was his own finger that he sent to the newspaper, as we see, because he kills himself, takes his own life or whatever, and you can see he's got a bloody hand. So obviously he cut his own finger off instead of the princess's, and they find her completely safe. Nobody tells the Prime Minister that she was released before the broadcast because I don't think he'd do very well. I mean, he was throwing up in that afterwards. And that's basically it. In the credits, it cuts to a year later. His approval ratings have actually improved, but his wife and him have become very distant. They don't give much more context than that. I can feel like obviously she didn't agree with it, but you know what? He did what he had to do as the Prime Minister. I wouldn't have done it. I would have just let the princess die, honestly. And obviously she didn't die, so what the fuck? I say it's not bad, but I wouldn't have started the show with that episode. I'd give it a solid 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 means nothing terrible and nothing great. It's a perfect middle of the road episode. On to episode 2, we have 15 million merits. Now, if you thought the previous episode didn't really lean into the sci-fi dystopia much, this one goes full tilt into it. So this guy, his name is Bing, and he lives in this world where people mostly ride these exercise bikes to get merits, which is their currency to buy food and whatnot. He lives in this bedroom that's just covered in screens. And one notable thing that they make clear early on is like if there's a pornographic ad or something like that, you have to pay credits to skip it. At first, he's got quite a few. He's got over 15 million credits, so it's not an issue for him. But one day, while he's there riding his bike and that, afterwards, he hears one of the women there, Abby, sitting in the bathroom. And he is attracted to her, so he tries to convince her to enter a talent show. He uses his life savings to pay for her ticket. the 15 million credits. And she goes on this talent show, which is sort of a parody of American Idol, but you have the sense that it holds a lot more sway in this world, because the judges don't want to hire a singer, but they're able to convince her to become a porn star. It's a bit out there because it doesn't really make much sense the way this world works. But regardless of that, she does. Later on, the main character, Bing, he can't even pay the amount needed to skip a porno ad, and it stars her. So it really messes with his mind. Eventually, he starts to save as much as he can to get another ticket onto the show, which he does. He does a bit of a dance, which they're not impressed by, but he ends his performance by holding a shard of glass to his neck and threatening to take his own life on stage, ranting about the society and the way that judges act and that sort of thing, which has the opposite effect. The judges are impressed and offer him a regular show for him to rant and do this all on, and he accepts it. By the end of it, you can see he's now moved up in the world. He's living in a much bigger apartment, and you get the sense that he's still sad but also happy with his own success. It's a very dark episode. I actually didn't enjoy it throughout the first half until it got to the point where he went on the show and made his statement. And I was even planning to say, if it doesn't improve, I won't bother watching season 2. But the ending does redeem it a lot. I'd give this episode a 6 out of 10. It's not terrible, and it's definitely better than the first episode, but it's not to the levels of greatness from what I've heard.
I have no memory of this place.
On to episode 3, we have the entire history of you. This was also a sci-fi futuristic episode, but it's not as dystopian as the first one, as the second one, I mean. So in this world, people have a device behind their ear which can replay their memories through their eyes or on a screen that they've connected to. Now, at a dinner party, this man, Liam, gets suspicious of his wife's behavior with one of her friends. When they get home, the wife tells him that they had a relationship, but the details about it don't match. So Liam spirals a bit and gets completely drunk throughout the night and heads to this other guy's house. He threatens him with violence and forces the other guy to delete all the memories of the wife. He crashes his car on his way home, and when he gets back up and conscious, he's able to replay his memories. And one of the memories from the other guy was of his wife in bed. So he realizes his wife cheated on him. He goes home and confronts his wife and forces her to show her memories of what she did with this guy. And it's how she finds out that she did cheat on him around the same time their baby was conceived. So that's pretty fucking messed up. And by the end of the episode, you see Liam using a razor to slice open the mechanism behind his ear that records your memories, and he pulls it out as the episode ends. It's not as dystopian, but I like the concept. It's very good. I actually saw a movie recently which used this sort of concept, and it's not too bad. This is probably the best balance of the season between your grounded story and your sci-fi dystopian world. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's the best of the season, but from what I've heard, people praise this show to no end, and I don't feel like it deserves that praise. I'm going to watch season 2 soon, so I'll see what I think of that season. It's also got 3 episodes, but I'll also be watching the special. It's called White Christmas. I've heard a lot of people say it's quite good, so I'm going to check that out too. Let me know what you think. My rankings, as I stated before, was 1, 2, 3 of the first, second, and third episode. Third episode being the best, first being the worst. I still think it's worth watching, but I don't think it's the masterpiece that a lot of people think it is. Let me know what you think. If there's any specific episodes throughout the entire show you want me to watch sooner, let me know. Obviously, I won't be watching Bandersnatch because I think it's been removed from Netflix recently, and they would only come around season 4 anyway. It's not too bad. I'll cope without it. Let me know if you agree with my ranking, and if you have a favorite episode of the shows, tell me in the comments below. I'm very curious to see. I love anthologies. This won't be the only anthology I review. So if you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.